YouTube, this is Bonnie and I hope you are all doing well. It is a beautiful Saturday early afternoon here in Texas. I don't know, I think it's going to be somewhere in the high 80s, maybe low 90s today in my neck of the woods. Today I have an unboxing. Now, I first saw this deck, and I'm sorry if you don't like seeing videos of out of print decks, you can just turn this off. But if you're curious, this deck may still be semi-available, and I'll explain in a little bit. And if you hear brief noises of a lawnmower, I think my landscaper is finishing up, so I apologize. This deck is actually it's 3 decks. It's 3 small decks, and each deck is 28 cards a piece. And it is the Elisabeth on Earth series. And these decks were designed by Elisabeth Ladwig, and they are currently officially out of print. But I saw a recent unboxing on Kelly Fitzgerald's channel, The Truth and Story of these decks, and she mentioned that there still may be decks that are slightly imperfect that the creator had online, and that there was a possibility, you know, if you reached out to her, if you really wanted one, she may still have some imperfect ones. So I did, and she said, yes, I have some imperfect ones, and so I bought them, and well, let's see. I don't know what the extent of the imperfections are in the deck, so we'll look at this together. All I have done so far is just loosened up some of the tape in the box, so we will look at these together. It's an oracle deck, yeah, not tarot. It's an oracle deck, and we will. Oh wow. Now, I am aware that that these decks did not come with boxes. They came wrapped, each set of 28 cards. They were sold separately, or you could buy them together. If you bought them separately, they were wrapped in their own unique cloth. And it looks like this is kind of a wool yarn. Really beautiful, and in a purple cloth. And I would probably say that I think this is one of the cards, and it is beautiful. And it is a business card, Elisabeth on Earth, Elisabeth Ladwig, photographic artist, and her email, website. Very cute. All right, so let's open this puppy up. Now, I was just drawn to the art when I saw it because it reminds me of 2 of my favorite decks, the Dream Keepers Tarot and the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrine Welts Stein. Dream Keepers is by Liz Houston. So this is a very pretty cloth. And I think I may have to make a bag to keep this in. Yeah, it's three separate decks. So look at how pretty this cloth is. It's got some gold in it. It's a heavy cloth, kind of like a burlap and something else, maybe burlap and linen. It's very nice, very, very nice. And these are the backs of the cards. I don't know which one is, I think she had a title for each set of, you know, each deck, but I don't remember. So let's go through the first one. It just has a plastic sleeve on it, and let's see if we can get a little bit lower. good? There we go. So Elisabeth on Earth, cards are for your personal reflection to be used in perfect love and perfect trust. Know that all of the answers you seek already exist within you. The cards only help you discover what is hidden beneath the conscious surface. Art may take on a different meaning from one viewing to the next. That's very true. Expand your awareness, open your heart, embrace abundance, practice joy and gratitude, love yourself, be honest with yourself, and write your own beautiful story. Use these cards wisely as guides, not gospel, and empower yourself to be the sole creator of your own life. So all the decks, it looks like, comes with this title card, and these are the beautiful simplistic backs. Cardstock right off the bat, it seems like it has a little bit of a coating. Not super matte, but not glossy. It just like has a very little, maybe just the minor, maybe just minor gloss, because it feels like it does have a coating. Similar to a Llewellyn cardstock, very similar to Llewellyn cardstock, I would say, if not like the same, to some of their decks that they have right now, the newer decks. Yeah, very similar, similar size to a regular tarot size, traditional tarot size deck. So let me take a peek and see if you can get. We're getting all the card as close as we can. There we go. Excuse my finger there. Surprise date. This looks like a little origami bird. Very pretty. So, okay, we should be looking for imperfections. And I know I think she mentioned that the left corner, I don't know facing which way, the left corner, there were some imperfections, like some wear or maybe uneven cutting, but nothing that's overwhelmingly, you know, that sticks out. The hideout. That's beautiful. So I'm not an artist, so this looks like a combination of maybe some painting, some digital art. Definitely mixed media, probably. Float. The passerby. Again, there's a bird, but this one looks like a real bird and not the little origami one. Beyond impediments. Again, the birds. So it looks, I know this deck is a combination of people and nature, which I like. The writer. She's got an old-fashioned typewriter there. You can see it in the mist. I just love her dress. The petticoat. Beautiful. Where the wind blows. When life hands you lemons, you make lemonade, right? Okay, so this is a very, very mixed bag with, you know, some of the color palette is muted and then you get pops of color like this. I love that yellow. And see here, the muted, and then you get the pop of color. Walk with me. So I see a little bit of like chipping here on this side of the card, in this corner in particular. But these, I wonder if these would be easy to edge. But you would need kind of an antique-y, like distressing stain, I think would be good for these. Oh, waiting for the phone to ring. Can't see her face. So there is no guidebook that comes with this. She wanted to leave it all to the, the owner's interpretation. Underhill Road. And I love the use of red in here with the old farmhouse or barn and her dress. Lots of red in here. The crone. She doesn't look like a crone, but, at least it's depicted. Oh, and we've got the mother. We've got the mother, the crone, and we do have the maiden as well. Oops. So, here we go. The maiden is off holding on for her adventure, just embarking on a new adventure. The mother, she's saddled with responsibilities at this point in her life. That's how I sometimes felt when raising a young family. And actually, this does depict more of my life now as I'm entering in the crone phase of life with young adult children now. I still have one who is semi-dependent on me. He's a college student, and he's living at home right now. But yes, I see little chipping in the cardstock. It's not horrible and nothing, a little etching. If you pick the right colors, a little etching would take care of that. So yes, I would say this adequately depicts, I've picked up my meditation, I have more leisure to pursue my interests and hobbies. And actually at the end of this video, I'll show you what a couple of them are, what I've been doing creatively. So yes, I love that. The Maiden Mother Crone. Sea Spirit 2. That's a beautiful card. Sea Spirit 3. A little bit out of order. Sea Spirit, because I see there's a Sea Spirit 1. This is beautiful. And in fact, I love this imagery because this is how I dream. The reason why I love the Dream Keeper's Tarot and the Oracle of Mystical Moments is because these images are how I dream. Permission, lucidity, gift. I'm going to try to fly through these cards. Well, not too fast, but I don't want it to be an hour-long video. The Ghost. I really, really like that. The moon as her head. I hope that my phone is picking this up because a lot of the images are dark and it is bright and sunny in here today. So I'm using all natural lighting. End of the Earth. I quite like that. Again, I notice there's a little chipping here. Dryad of Self-Empowerment. And the pop of color is in her hair. Dryad of Renewal. Dryad of Nurture. Dryad of Kinship. This is beautiful. This landscape, prairie, there's cattle. desolate, dry. Actually, it could be some parts in Texas. I'm in Central Texas, so we've got some hills and greenery and trees, so it doesn't look like that, but some places it does. Dryad of death and rebirth. And the chakras. All right, so that was the first deck. So I think with these decks, if you have all three of them, you could just combine them and make them just one big oracle. So we have the same title card as the other deck. And we open with Rough Patch. Again with the birds. The Path. So these decks start with some nature-based photographs and artwork. Listen. This is beautiful. I love the use of neutrals and pastels in this one. Excuse me. Late Summer's Dance. Everlasting Light. And here we go with some human figures. What we see is not always the full picture. Oh my goodness. I do remember this card in Kelly's video, The Watchers. Now this for me is worth getting all three decks, or even just, you know, the partial, you know, the one deck of 28. To me, this represents ancestors, spirit guides, and this is in my meditations. Is I don't necessarily see them with button heads, but you know, I do often see them holding hands. I often see graveyards. Yeah. Oh, I love this card so much. This is like my favorite so far. I think I would have paid just for this card. Truce. To Edelweiss. That's a beautiful card. Time Capsule. Figure in a sort of hourglass. I love the pop of blue here against the neutrals. See Me. And this is interesting because there's a plane. Is she waiting to be rescued? Is she on a desert? Well, not a desert. Well, maybe a desert island. There's water. That looks like a lake here. But see me. Her face is obscured with her hair. So she's got herself covered up, but she's begging to be seen. And isn't that sometimes, you know, if you're, it's hard to speak up sometimes. It's hard for some people to draw attention to themselves, especially if they are hurting or if they need something. And sometimes we have to be attuned to that. Whether it's us, we need to speak up. We can't expect, you know, our partners or our loved ones, friends to be psychic and just, well, you should know me. You should know what I need. You should, you know, automatically know that I'm thirsty and bring me that Coke or whatever. And sometimes we get mad when our loved ones, partners, friends, whatever, don't pick up on our needs right away. But we need to spell it out sometimes if we want to get what we want, if we want to be understood, if we want to be seen. You know, really, it's up to us. And in fact, you know, if she's waiting to be rescued by that plane, she needs to do a lot more, like start a fire, be jumping up and down, be making, you know, a rock sign of save me, help. You know, she just can't stand there and hope that they'll see her. Once upon a time, I love this. The old teacup, the old, well-worn books. Like sometimes I do Akashic Record meditations, and these are what the books look like, or they're scrolls. And yeah, I just love this. I'm an avid reader. I read cereal boxes. You know, I'll read anything. No More Games. I love this one because it's got kind of an Alice in Wonderland feel to it, you know, a little bit. And what is that hole down there in the chessboard? She's going to go back down the rabbit hole. Love that. And you know, there's a lot of origami type figures. There's a paper hat. I've seen the origami birds. The Lost Girl. Kingdom of Old. This could also be like a nostalgia card. And how often do we look back, you know, when things are not going our way? It's so easy to look back. Like my husband and I do it all the time. Back in the day, it was so much better. Music was so much better. You know, we kind of like to tease our kids with that, but you know, a lot of things weren't better. It's always a give and take. Some things were better back in the day, but you know, some things are better today. Invocation. She's going to manifest something big. I get the feeling from the energy of this card. I love the red. Home Away 3. Okay, and there's a Home Away 2. And there's a Home Away 1. Now, I remember in Kelly Fitzgerald's video, she said that she was going to pick one. She probably wouldn't have all of these in. They are the same but different. I think she was going to choose the one with the porch, but they are all against the sea. They're all in the middle of the ocean. I think I would pick, if I were going to just pick one, I would pick the one with the red door. But I would probably assign different, I would probably keep all three in the deck and assign a different meaning to each one, to each house. I don't know, I'd have to think about that because they all, it is a similar depiction, but they have subtle differences. There's a person here in the porch. There's a person, very imperceptible, but a person in the window here. Excuse me, and there's a person in the window here. So, either you pick one, that's your preference, or you keep them all in. I don't know which one what I'm going to do yet. The Herbalist, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, her dress, and that antique lace. Love it. Her Big Day. Okay, look at the fishtail underneath. It's like to me, almost like a Little Mermaid reference. Her Big Day, she's going to lose her tail and she's going to be human. Or conversely, maybe she's growing her tail back and she's going to shed the dress, figuring out that being human's not all that it's cracked up to be. Healing. Oh, wow. I don't know if she's a mermaid, but look at the shells that are attached to her and the seaweed or netting. Heavy burden, so obviously all these shells, the weight, the net, it's a heavy burden. Fly. Empty nest. I'm almost there. I'm not totally happy about it, but yeah, I'm almost there. Time goes by so quickly. Catching the light. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The caged bird. And the animals all watching her. The gilded cage, maybe. That's that kind of what we're all feeling like right now. Bare bones of winter. Is she a dryad? She's got branches coming out of her sleeves. Against time. Yeah, time stops for no one. Isn't that the truth? Okay, so that was deck number 2 and the last one that we'll go through. Again, it has the same title card. So it looks like the beginning cards, like the first cards of all the, well, they're very, very similar, with the first few cards being, you know, nature-based, with the birds and the landscape. All right, so the last one, welcome home. So the glass house, just a frame. The migration. Kindred. So again, it's a continuation of the migration. Contemplation. This is a great contemplation card. Cameo appearance. The weight of a snowflake. Can you see this? Snowflakes have made an outline figure. It's beautiful. Wash over me. Uncharted. This card also feels very now. With everything that's going on in every aspect of life, we're trying to navigate through uncharted territories, and everybody's trying to make the best decisions possible, but very much going into the unknown. Tipping the scales reminds me of the Two of Pentacles in the tarot. Oh, this was the business card, Star Polish. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. And I don't know if you're picking it up, but the stars have little threads. It's almost like a kid's room, you know. You can buy some of these types of decorations from IKEA, but catch a falling star. It's very beautiful. Relic. Those old bones. Progression, or procession, sorry. And this is the only female figure, so you can see very female-centric deck. No males in this deck. She's the first one I've seen who has a little bit of silver or gray in her hair. This is again, and she's not quite as thin as the other figures. The other figures are it's young and body beautiful. Again, it's not gonna, even the crone card that we went through, it's not gonna stop me from buying a deck if I'm drawn to the imagery. But this is the only card of the three that represents anybody that is remotely near my age. Once in a lifetime. Yes, the planets line up. Beautiful. I love this blue. Lost and found. Looks like this bird is bringing her a key. Lesson. I was a different person then. And the little jackrabbit. Okay, look. So here's the lesson. The rabbit. And she's gone through some changing. Because she's a different person here than she is here. In plain sight. She's opening up her dress, and can you see the moon inside her heart, where her heart should be? Imagine. How sweet the hum. The greatest show on earth. So this one seems like it's a little offshoot of the, doesn't quite follow the flow of the other cards, you know, the nature cards, and then the female-centric images of the other cards. But I love the colors in it. And I know it's gonna serve a purpose in the deck. I just love all the animals. I love the color pop. Forsythia leviosa. I don't know what that means, but I will look it up. Fledgling. Destined for greatness. Okay, now here's another one that is just, it looks like it's kind of stuck in there. Now, maybe if it didn't have the little paper crown, you know, this little bear cub, maybe it would blend in better with the nature, but something about the little paper crown makes it kind of But the bear cub is so cute, so I, you know. Counting crows. The collector. Could this be all of us in our tarot decks? and oracle decks combined. You see how they're leading up to the sky, you know? To me, it just, the first inclination I get is you can't take it with you. Material possessions you can't take with you. You know, wherever we're going next, we'll take our intellect, our wisdom, our experiences, our perceptions, lessons we've learned, things we need to work on, we'll take into the next realm of existence when we leave this earthly realm. But our collections, you know, whatever else, we will not. You know, the love we've learned to have, the love we've gained, the love that we've shared with others, we will take that with us, but the material we will not. So that's just the first thing when I see that card. That's what I get from it. Benevolent world. And she's part butterfly, or at least her dress. It's a butterfly wing. There she is. May timid wings awaken. Now this looks like some of these cards, you know, she's basically an artist. And it looks like these cards were taken from, you know, works that she was working on, a series of works. So, like in a series. Like the Maiden, Mother, Crone, those images definitely were, you know, follow along this. And the Dryads. And so may timid wings awake. And this one is Kaleidoscope. So beautiful. Now, you know what? There is one card that I noticed is missing from this deck compared to, I'm going to have to count all the cards off camera, but there was, I think, and I'm going to have to look at Kelly's video again, a card with one of these girls, and I think it was this dark-haired girl on a swing, which I quite liked. So I'm going to have to go through it again. I think I will combine these three decks into one big deck. I think that's something. I think this was number 3, and I think she said that this was the one that fared the best as far as the imperfection, and I did notice less chipping on that one, you know, in the corners. But like I said, it's not, I'm glad I got these. I really, with a couple of exceptions, I think there is a flow to these decks. And I'm quite happy that I reached out to her. Like, again, I say they remind me a lot. The artwork, the imagery of the Dream Keeper's Tarot by Liz Houston, which is one of my favorite tarot decks, and also the Oracle of Mystical Moments by Katrine Weltstein, which is one of my favorite oracle decks. Very, very similar in nature. So if you are partial to this kind of artwork, imagery, I will try to leave a link down below where you can reach out to her and see if she has any more of these imperfect decks. There is no guidebook. It's totally for you to associate your own meanings to the cards, and those can change if you're using them. I like that you're not tied to anything. You can use it in conjunction with tarot decks, you know, and each time, you know how it is with each reading, you know, even if you happen to assign meaning to it, it can go out the window depending on your intuitive hits and depending on the reading. So yes, a little bit of chipping on the corners. I think I noticed it mostly on the bottom corners of the first 2 decks. In the first deck, I noticed a little bit on the top. Not a lot on the third deck. Yeah, I'm going to combine them, but I'm going to have to count the cards because I think it's missing. It may be missing a card, or I could be totally off. So that is the Elisabeth on Earth Oracle deck by Elisabeth Ladwig. And if you are, so they're not available. They're not in print, but she may have some rogue ones that are in an imperfect condition, like I just mentioned. So I don't know what you all have been doing to keep busy while you're at home. I have been, I'm going to move up a little bit, just a little bit. I'm going to move these beautiful decks out of the way with its beautiful cloth. But I have been making face masks. I've been making quite a lot of them, actually. I do so. But I'm finding I can't find interfacing, which is what I use between the two layers, between the lining and the mask. I've got to get these mailed out. And a 1/4 inch or even 1/2 inch elastic is becoming a hot commodity, hard to find, along with, disinfectant wipes and hand sanitizer. But I've been making a lot of masks lately, and I think I'm done for right now. This thing is going to be lasting probably longer than we would like, so masks are going to probably be part of our daily life. So I'll probably be making more for my loved ones and friends, but I'm done. I've made like 2 big batches, and so I'm done for a while. And the other thing I'm doing, I am not an artist, but I've been inspired by some artists, collage artists, to try a new medium. I don't draw at all. I can only draw some stick people, but I kind of said, collage art. I took a look at a class on Creative Bug, and I said, maybe I could do that. So I did start to play around with the art medium of collage art. See if I can get down a little bit. And I know I'm not an artist, and I don't think these are anything great, but it was something I'm doing to pass the time. I'm not a painter. I'm not a sketch artist. I'm totally in the visual arts. I'm unartistic. But with just some supplies, some ephemera. Let's see, this is like an old Victorian menu. Some old ephemera. You can kind of scrapbook paper, rubber stamps, some vellum, some distressing crayons, some craft paper or paper bag. And this one says Superior Specimen. This one is Familiar Fork in the Trail. Again, I used, what did I use? Distressing crayon, I think. Some vellum type paper, part of a paper bag. And it says Familiar Fork in the Trail. This one I quite like. Something good is about to happen. And again, I use some vellum and ephemera, paper dolls that you could get these at Joann's. But like the paper I got, Austin has a store called Austin Creative Reuse, where people bring in their scraps of whatever or art supplies that they don't want anymore, and you can get it like super cheap. And I think that's where I got this paper from and some of this ephemera. Because I like to sew. I got this Simplicity like pattern stamp. Got some like vintage paper, some washi tape. I think this is from a Happy Planner sticker book, the Miss Maker book, if you are familiar. And then these, because I want to be a mermaid. I am a wannabe mermaid. I am a Piscean. But watercolors, gelatos, again, paper bag. This is chalk and some watercolor. Just fun. This is one of my first attempts using a rubber stamp and then watercolors. And I did a bigger one. This one's going to my sister. My sister, I showed her this one and she loved it. Let's see if I could go a little bit higher. But this, I used it, this and the roses, this and the bag, it was all a little blank card, you know, that comes in a box. And so I just took it apart. And actually, do you see this brown paper here? And then this little, these two little figures, these are from a pattern, an old pattern from the 1940s. And the paper actually, when I took it out of the pattern package, it stunk really bad. And so did this, but it's gone away after it's been aired out and, you know, treated with glaze. But yeah, this is fabric tape right here, Tim Holtz fabric tape that I picked up from Joann's. And I don't know if you can see, it says keep calm and carry cash. So this is I'm gonna mail this to my sister along with a couple of masks for her and her daughter, and she liked this one, and she also wanted this little one. She says she's gonna put them in frames. And then I made one more. It's quite big. So let's see, I'm gonna have to go way up here. And this is like using scraps. This was just like playing. My husband got some vinyl, and you know how they package it in cardboard. So I used the packaging cardboard and made this kind of Alice in Wonderland collage. If you can see it, I kind of whitewashed it kind of for distressing. But the images were taken from my Alice calendar from last year. It had different artists doing Alice pictures, and yeah, all of this. And then I got some playing cards. I think you're maybe just bicycle deck playing cards. And yeah, I cut up the picture. I had some scraps of paper. This is scrapbooking paper. This right here is the inside of a bill envelope. So it's like, you know, it's kind of fun finding things that we normally would just throw away. I'm looking at in a different light. So, and I did cut this out from an Alice in Wonderland book that I bought cheap. It was like $3.99 paperback. I do have a hardback, beautiful copy of Alice in Wonderland. But this one was a paperback, and I'm using it to cut out just words, and it says Chapter 8, The Queen's Croquet Ground. So that's just what I've been doing. And let me know what you've been doing just to keep your sanity. Are you learning something new? Are you learning how to crochet, knit, some other art medium? Let me know in the comments. I would appreciate a like, a subscribe if you haven't already, and I'd like to hear what you're doing and what you think of these cards. Are they something that's in your wheelhouse or something that, you know, you can pass on? And I'll try to remember to put a link in the bottom for how to contact the artist if you'd like to get some of these imperfect or slightly, you know, not perfect decks. So yeah, that's all I have. And thanks for watching. I hope you have a beautiful Saturday, and I'll be back soon.